Welcome back to day 5 of 24 days of personal branding. Today, we're talking all about your offers. We'll get into what an offer is, why you need to know what yours is, and how to pick the right one. So, the technical definition of an offer is a clear proposal to sell or buy a specific product or service under specific conditions. Offers are made in a manner that a reasonable person would understand acceptance and will result in a binding contract. So that's the technical definition. My definition is an offer is the thing you sell. So it's how you package whatever it is that you sell. And we're going to get into all the different options for that, all the different ways you can do that. There's a lot nowadays, which is really cool, but it can also be overwhelming. So why do you need to know exactly what yours is? It is because then you'll have a focus of what you're focusing on doing. You'll have even more of a North Star with having your industry, your niche, and then now your specific, what your offer is going to be. And being really clear and upfront about what your offer is going to make it easy for people to work with you. A lot of times when I start working with someone and I look at their social medias or their website, if they have one, and there's no way to easily work with them. And you might not even be able to tell totally what they do. Like you might know that they're a wellness expert, but then you don't know, do they do one-on-one coaching? Do they sell a course? Do they have a book? So the point of getting really clear about this is so you can be clear, so then it's clear to other people. And then it also will help you get clarity around what type of content to create. So you know what type of people you're trying to bring in, what kind of things you want to be talking about so that the right people are going to get into your world that would be interested in what it is you're selling. And tomorrow we're going to talk about choosing your content pillars. So knowing this is going to also help you do that. So I have a couple of tips, things that I want you to keep in mind when we're getting into this and you're figuring out and choosing what your first offer is going to be, or maybe if you already have offers, it's the one that you're going to revamp for this season or quarter or next year that you're going to really focus on. So number one, focus on one offer / stream of income at a time. Build it up to a point that it's sustainable and consistently bringing you in income, that it's optimized until you add on another thing. So this is how you're able to eventually add multiple streams of income, which we all want. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, but you have to focus on one at a time and make it successful. When I first started, my main mentor, when I first got into the digital marketing entrepreneur world, was Chalene Johnson. I still love her. I'm actually going to link to one of her podcasts in the workbook. So if you want to get the link to that, be sure to sign up for the actual challenge. It's free. You just need to put in your email and you'll get everything inside my website. But she's a big believer in having multiple streams of income. So she was my mentor. She still is one of my mentors. And so that's why. But I think she does talk about this more now, but back then I either just didn't get the memo or she didn't really explain, I guess, that you really need to focus on one at a time. Even if the goal is to have many different streams of income, you need to make one stable and secure and that it doesn't need you in it all the time before you're going to add more, because then you're diluting your resources. If it's just you doing everything, you're going to get burnt out. And if it's basically, if you try to grow too quickly, it's kind of like the Three Little Pigs, right? The one that built the brick house that took his time and built it with a solid foundation. He or she was the one that when the storm came, it wasn't a problem. The ones that try to build too quickly, their houses fell down and then they had to go somewhere else. And then they probably had to start all over again, right? And you don't want to have to do that, which is what I had to do with a lot of things. And now I'm kind of going back and building solid foundations for everything. But one thing at a time. Like I said, you can eventually have multiple different types of offers and streams of income. And that is really, I think, the goal. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So think about that. But you can, I definitely, again, would say do it in a sustainable way. And then there's also a couple that I'm going to talk about that aren't that much maintenance, but that can just bring in some cash as it happens, that are kind of easy additional streams of income. And I'll talk about that when I go over my current streams of income. Okay, so I talked about all that. So let's get into what my current streams of income are. So I have one-on-one clients, whether that is in coaching or done for you digital marketing. That's a stream of income. I also have digital products and courses. So I have ebooks and courses. In the new year, I'm actually getting rid of any paid training type content. Anything that's going to be paid is either going to, as far as like teaching and coaching goes, is going to either be through speaking, through one-on-one clients, or through a group coaching type program. So right now I have Elevate, my one-on-one offer, which if you're interested in that, I'm going to put the link in the description and you can apply to work with me. That I'll have 2 spots for that. And then I also am going to have my mastermind called Karma, which has 8 spots. So if you're looking for more support for your digital marketing or your personal brand or your marketing systems, then that is going to be the way to work with me next year. I also am in Monate. So that's an MLM. I am not super active in it, but I do already have clients that have bought from me, and I kind of just help them refill their orders. So that is a stream of income. And then sometimes people do ask me if I still offer it. And then that's potentially another client, but I'm not necessarily focused on building that at this time. But if you want Monate, you can come to me. Let's see. I also do affiliate marketing. So for the tools and the products that I use, let me write this in so I don't forget. I have links that most of them will give you a discount if you use my link, and then I get paid for referring you. So a couple of the ones that I use Amazon. So I have a Amazon, I forget, I think they call it a partner program. I'm not sure, but their affiliate program basically. So when I'm talking about different things that I use, physical products, I will use Amazon link. I also have a Amazon storefront on my website with all the different products that I use. And with all of the affiliate ones, I only will recommend things that I actually use. I think that is that. And then having things that are actually relevant to your brand and make sense. And as we finish this program and go through like your values, things you want people to know about you, just things about you, that's going to become more clear and be easier to make those decisions. So, for example, I just got an email to be an affiliate and influencer for it's like a soup company, and all the soups have wheat in them and they have meat in them. And I don't eat either of those. So for me to do a promotion of that would be clearly very fake, right? Like, obviously I don't use that if like I don't eat either of those things. So that would be very off brand for me to do. If it was a company that was vegetarian and gluten-free, I would consider it. But even then, I would want to try the product before I agreed to be promoting it, right? So, but like I said, as you figure out the rest of your brand and the things that you want to stand for and your values and what you want people to know about you, those decisions will become more easy. But one way to make it really easy is just only promoting things that you actually already use and love, because that's how you're also going to build trust with people. If you're recommending random things that you don't use, you don't love, then if people try it and they don't like it, they're not going to trust you the next time you recommend something or you try to sell something, because the last time you basically led them astray, right? So like I said, Amazon, I also am a affiliate for Bluehost, the domain program that I use. And all these I have discount codes for, so I'll actually put the links to these in the workbook if you're interested in using any of them. Kajabi is what I use to build my website on. Monday is my project management software I use. Honeybook is what I use to send contracts and charge clients and schedule appointments. And then I'm also an affiliate for some courses. So courses that I've actually gone through and love and that have really helped me. I'm an affiliate for them. And then physical products, PrettyAF does have a merch line. So through Shopify and a website called Uton, you can create products that they will drop ship for you. So that means you don't have to hold inventory. You don't have to buy a bunch of whatever the product is. You can just design it online. And then if someone buys it, they will make that one product and ship it to them. So it's a lot more cost effective than actually like buying a bunch of something and hoping it sells, right? I also white label Sendable. So I have a agency account with them, and then some of my past clients or people I've worked with that I showed them Sendable and how to use it, I will add them as a user to account and charge a set rate a month for them to use that. And they get more options than if they were to buy it themselves at a lower price point, because I have an agency account. And then also speaking. So like I was saying earlier, with the one-on-one group coaching and speaking, those are all streams of income. So how do you pick the right one for you? Now we're going to get into how to figure that out. So you're going to want to grab all your work from the previous lessons, your answers to the questions, have your industry and your niche. Make sure you have that before you get into this, because that's going to make it a lot easier and a lot more clear what makes sense for you. Pull what your favorite part of what you currently do is, what you would like to do more of, what you don't want to be doing, to kind of get an idea of what makes sense for you. So, for example, one of my priorities with starting a business is that eventually I want to be a mom, right? So anything that I'm going to do when I'm looking at long-term goals isn't going to be super time consuming for me, because I want to be able to be home and be present. It's also not going to be things that are taking me out of the house. It's not going to be things that are making me travel a ton or I'm going to have to physically go somewhere. So whatever your priorities are, your goals are, keep that in mind when you're choosing what your offer should be. If you also have a certain income goal, keep that in mind. For example, with Amazon affiliates, you're not going to make like a ton of money from that until you have a large audience. So also keep in mind, like, what is your actual current audience? Does it make sense to do things that are higher price points? So you only have to get so many people in to hit your goals, or do you already have a huge audience and adding like an affiliate would be a really easy way to add an additional stream of income because you already have that large audience. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so here's some questions that I specifically want you to answer. And again, all of these are written out in the workbook. So if you're more of a visual person, you want to be able to get that workbook and fill it out, be sure to sign up. I'll put the link in the description again. So where do you want to work? Do you want to work online so you can be at home, or you can travel, work from your computer? Do you want to go to a physical place? Do you want to do a mixture of both? Do you want it to be your own place that you're going to? Do you want to go to a co-working place? Do you want to go into clients' homes? What would be your ideal situation as far as where you're physically working? I know for me, I like to have the freedom to work from home, work while I'm traveling, go to a co-working space or a coffee shop if I want. And then sometimes I don't mind like speaking in person or doing an in-person intensive, but I don't want to have to go somewhere every single day, right? Do you want to digitally create something? So are you thinking what you want is going to be online in some way? Are you doing courses or coaching on Zoom? Or do you want to physically create something? So do you want to like make candles or bake something or create designs for like banners? Or do you want to provide a service? So we're going to get into all these different options, but basically it's going to either be a service, a physical product, or a digital product. Do you want to create your own product, or do you want to resell someone else's? So if you're just getting started, it is an easy foot in the door to start by reselling someone else's products versus creating your own. If you have more time, more resources, then I would recommend just starting with creating your own products or selling your own services. Also, if it's just a service, that can be an easy thing to start with. Like if you're just going to sell one-off one-on-one Zoom coaching calls, that's really easy to set up. So decide if you want to create your own product, your own offer, or you're going to resell others in some way. So reselling could mean you're white labeling it, like I do with the scheduling platform I use. It could mean that you're reselling a physical product. Like I talked about my client that resells and white labels supplements, health supplements. It could be being an affiliate for Amazon or a program you've taken. So think about that. Where do you want to start right now? All right, now I'm going to get into a more detailed list of types of offers to give you more ideas of what you could potentially be doing. And again, all of this is broken out in the workbook if you want to be able to go back and look at it. Okay, so services is one option. You could be a speaker. You could do coaching or a mentorship, and that could be from one-on-one, that could be in a mastermind, a group coaching type session. It could be retreats. You could host actual events or retreats that people physically come to. Maybe you do all the speaking, or maybe you bring in people. You can, for services, you can also be an influencer or an affiliate. And the reason I put this under services is because you're providing a service to the company that you're promoting. So there are different types of brand deals aside from just, a lot of companies, you can just go on their website and sign up for their affiliate program. But then there's also companies like the soup company I was talking about that'll reach out to you and will offer you a package. Like they offered to send me like a package of theirs that's worth like $200 and give me a commission based on the sales that I get, right? You can also sell a audit. So I used to do this with people's online presence. I would sell that. I would basically go through their website, go through their social media, and give them feedback on what I would change to better position them. You could do that with, if you're like a bookkeeper, you could audit someone's finances and how they've been doing things. If you're a, you teach other hairdressers how to do foils, you could watch them do it and then give them feedback on what they did. So there's a lot of different options with that. With services, you can also do done for you. So that would be like a hairdresser actually doing someone's hair. That's a done for you service. Most people in the beauty industry, you're going to be a done for you service. And then if, for example, with my one-on-one clients, some of them, it's a done for you service. I actually do the stuff for them. I don't show them how to do it. I mean, if they ask, I'll show them, but most of them don't want to know. So I just do it for them. And then for services, you can also do done with you. So like my mastermind, for example, is a done with you service, where, for example, if they're going to write their about themselves, they would write it. And then on the group call, I would review it with them in between boxer calls and provide feedback to make it better. And I would give them guidance before that of like what to do, what I recommend based on their specific situation, prompts to help make it easier. And then I would review it with them. They would update it and then we would review it again. So it's more customized support and hands-on, but I'm not actually just like, if it was the one-on-one offer, I would pull information from everywhere that I could find, ask them questions of any gaps that I had, and then I would write it myself. So that's kind of the difference there. So those are all the things I have listed for services. Hopefully that kind of gives you a good idea. And then also keep in mind your industry and your niche, right? So like I said, if you're a, your industry is the food industry and your niche is gluten-free baking, then from these, you could, if you were done with you, maybe, or coaching, mentorship, maybe you teach people how to make foods. Maybe you do have an ebook, or you have courses, or you actually physically go grocery shopping with them. If it's done for you, maybe you actually bake things and you have a bakery, or you have a online business that you ship whatever it is you bake. Maybe you're an influencer and you go into gluten-free bake shops and interview them, and then they give you a discount code to give people and you get a certain percentage whenever people use that. So those are just some ideas. For physical products. If you're an author, you have a physical book, that would be a physical product. You could also put white labeling products under here. So like the supplements I was talking about, that could go under here. You can make your own products. So if you make candles, or I know those like big wooden signs outside of doors are really popular right now, to make that. So if you make anything and like sell it on Etsy, or that's what you want to do, or sell it in, when people have those booths at different events, that would be a physical product. Some of these kind of overlap, so don't feel like you have to get so technical, but this is just to help you get an idea of options of what you could be doing. So you could, if you're like a baker or a balloon arch creator, that would be a physical product, but then it's also a service. So that's what I mean by overlap, but it doesn't really matter if it's a service or physical product. If you're a clothing designer, that would be a physical product. But then if you're a stylist, that would be a service, right? If you are in an MLM, like I'm in Monate, that is a physical product. Digital products is another option. So if you sell an ebook, you sell digital courses. If you sell digital templates, if you go on Etsy, you'll see a lot of different templates. If you search for literally anything like grocery list template, meal prepping template, templates for your Cricut, templates for social media graphics. There's a lot of different, if you're a designer or something like that, there's a lot of templates. You can also sell like the planner that I've been getting by Horatio Printing. They have a physical and a digital planner. So that's another thing. And then you can also white label digital products. So for example, how I white label the social media management program I use, and allow my past clients to continue using it after we stop working together. That's an example of that. You can also be an affiliate for digital products. So how I'm an affiliate for a lot of the business tools that I use, that would be that. Yeah. And then there's also events / physical places. So if you host events or retreats or like networking things, that could fall under that. If you have Airbnbs or real estate, if you have venues like wedding venues or party venues or anything like that, that could fall under this. So that's also an option, real estate. And then there's also other things as well, like investing and things like that. But those aren't really offers, right? Those are more of just a stream of income. So this is more focused on offers. So now that I've gone through that, I want you to narrow down your top 2 to 5 and answer these questions for each one. So will doing this allow you to hit your current goals? So think about what your current goals are that you wrote down, and think about if each of those things matches or would help you or move you further away from those goals. 1 second.
Adelaide.
Go. Does this align with your current priorities? So think about what your current priorities are. And if it makes sense in this season and for where you want to be in, say, 6 months, a year, 5 years, does it make sense based on your priorities? Do you have the skills or experience to do this? Or would you need to gain it? And is that something you're willing to or able to do right now? So you might decide you really want to do Airbnbs, but you don't know how to do it, and you don't currently have the money to do it. So you have to decide, are you going to go all in on that and create a plan, even if it's going to take you 5 years to get your first Airbnb? Is that what you're going to do? And does that make sense for you? Or do you want to choose something that you already now have the skills and experience for, that you can start making money sooner? And then maybe do the Airbnb after you've established the first thing. How excited are you to do the thing that you're thinking about doing? So it's a big thing. If you're going to be able to stick to something, you have to want to show up for it, even when times get hard, right? Think about why you want that thing, and to help you really get aligned with, do I think this is like an ego thing? Do I just see other people doing it and it kind of sounds cool? Or do I actually really want this and I'm excited to make this work? Do I want to help people with this thing? Does that like really matter to me, helping these types of people with this specific problem? Can I see myself doing this for at least the next 6 months? So again, do you think you'll actually be able to commit to this and see it through? Am I willing to focus on this one offer until it's successful? So go through all those and choose what you want your offer to be that you're going to focus on. Again, if you haven't signed up for the actual challenge inside my website, I'll put the link to it so you can sign up and get the workbook for this, and you'll see all the questions, all the links to everything and all there. And if you're interested in working with me in 2024, I'll put the link to apply to work with me there as well, and we'll hop on a Zoom call together. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about choosing your content pillars. So be sure to tune in to that for even more clarity. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, just comment inside of the program inside my website so we can be sure to get back to you. All right. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.